Hey, Bruce here with the 5 Minute Handyman. We're continuing our quest of painting this bathroom, ceiling, trim, and walls. If you've seen some of the other videos, you'll remember that the first thing to do is to paint the ceiling and have a little bit of the ceiling paint come down onto the wall so that when we cut our wall line, it's going to be a nice, crisp line. Also, I've painted the trim and had that paint go a little bit onto the wall so that when we cut next to the door posts and frames, it'll be a nice crisp line as well. Now in this particular bathroom, we're going to have one wall that's going to be a darker blue than the wall that it's going to come up to, which is a gray wall. So we're going to paint the lighter color first, and again, just like what we did on the ceiling, we're going to go a little bit onto that other wall with the lighter color paint so that when we cut our line on the dark blue, it's going to be a nice crisp line. So let me show you what we have for hardware here. Again, using a 2.5-inch Chinex brush, and I've got my paint in a paint holder, so it makes it easy for me to transport it around. I don't want to carry a gallon around as I'm cutting around doorways and ceilings. Just makes it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do first is get some paint on my brush, and I'm going to load this up. And I only want to load up about 1/3 to 1/2 of the brush, and I'll tap it on the sides to make sure I have a good loading of paint. And you'll notice I don't have any drips here. I'm using a Marquee paint, which is nice and thick. So let me set it up. You can see here where we've got a little bit of the white from the door onto the wall, and that should be plenty for us to make a nice crisp line. So let me show you first what it's going to look like as I go through and start cutting this line, and then I'll show it to you from another angle. So what I'm going to do with my brush is if I hold my brush like this to normally paint, if I'm painting on the left side of a door frame, I'm just going to twist my arm this way, and then I'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I come in, then I start coming down right next to the frame. Then I'll pull back out. Next thing I want to do is I want to feather this edge so that I don't get a line here. So when I do my rolling, I'll have a nice easy transition. So let me show you what that looks like up close. Okay, so you can see we've got a nice straight line here. So let me show you from the side, because there's a couple of key things that we want to take note of when we're doing cutting like this without tape. And so the first thing is, when I'm doing this, I don't want to use my wrist. I want to use my elbow and my shoulder. If I use my wrist, I'm going to get curved lines, and it's not going to be nice and straight. So the goal is to use our wrist and just follow down on the piece of trim. So let me load my brush again. Make sure I don't have any drips on it. Get in a nice comfortable position. Again, come into the wall. Then nice and slow, just draw straight down. Notice my wrist is locked. Now I'm letting my elbow and shoulder do the work. Again, go back, feather it out. And so let me show you what we have. Okay, again, a nice clean straight line. So that's really all there is to making a clean cut with a brush if you're not going to be using any painter's tape. So take a look at the other videos on painting a complete room so that you can get the full picture. Thanks for watching.